Here on West 605, we've talked a lot about growth in population, growth in housing that's being built right now. But today, we're going to focus on growth in businesses that are moving here and impacting our local economy. And we're going to start with a little road trip to Belle Fourche. Belle Fourche is the home of Albany Farms. That's where they make a product called Twisted Noodles. Bill Soller is the CEO and founder, and he says the COVID-19 pandemic shaped the beginning of his ramen-making company.
I've been in the food space my entire career, both here and around the world. But I was originally an importer of finished product, and so we imported into the U.S. What happened is, and ramen was one of the products that we were importing. Being that it's an Asian-centric thing, we thought it would be a natural fit. And we launched a month prior to COVID striking. And what happened then is container rates spiked from $1,000, $1,100 for a container to import them from Southeast Asia to the U.S. to a peak of $25,000 per container, making it impossible to do. But it was more than that. It was getting containers. It was transportation. For those that are in business, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything was very difficult, which is why the end consumer would see empty store shelves and say, well, why did this happen? Well, so how did this happen? What brought us to this point? Well, that's the initial driving force. But ultimately, being in the food business my entire life, too much manufacturing, too much processing, too much raw material comes from outside the country. And it's something that we wanted to be a part of, bringing food production back, particularly with, unfortunate things like COVID and all these other viruses that people are talking about that are going to happen in the future. I hope not. But there's lots of reasons why food production should be domestic. My argument is a lot of different things, but food in particular. And so we went to search out and find a building and find a place to manufacture in the U.S.
Soller eventually decided to focus solely on making ramen. So he found a 30,000 square foot building at the west end of town and set up shop. How long have you been in this location?
They bought it back in 2021.
Okay.
It used to be a galvanizing tank manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So this is what they call the pillow line, the little squares that you had up in there.
Yeah.
So that's made on this side. And then we have the cup line over there. So right now we're only doing one line at a time. Pillow and cup, yep.
All right.
So,
how many of these pillows do you crank out in a day's time?
it's set to do 400 a minute. We're working 13-hour shifts right now, so.
There's that much of a demand for ramen.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Wow.
Once we get our third line in, we'll have 1,100 pieces of ramen every minute during our shift coming out.
And you're going to be able to fit another line inside this building?
Right down the middle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The team up here throws 450 pounds of flour every drop. So there's 9 bags of our flour.
Okay.
And then we've got the tapioca and the gluten.
So what we do is we load these up into the mixer here, and once that gets running, we just add that water in there. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, so as far as our
secret ingredients, the secret recipe.
But it's pretty straightforward. We have our extra additives that are pre-mixed in those buckets there that go on top of the mix just before we start it up. Isn't it beautiful?
This is
How long does it mix for before you drop it?
Right now we're doing between 6.5 and 7 minutes. Smells like fresh bread almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
You give, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking a kid would love to see all this. Do you give tours
We do.
to kids?
Yep. We give tours to local schools, local
Yeah,
groups. And,
I'll bet they love it.
The photography class here at Belle Fourche comes every semester and does their final project in here.
Okay. So the flour and the secret ingredients all go into
All
this
there.
mixer.
2 minutes.
2 minutes till drop. So you can see, I like the view up here to look down the whole mine.
Okay.
You know,
What do you mean by drop?
that mixture that's in here
Okay.
will drop down to the belt below and
Okay.
get scooped down to go into
A big glop of
a big glop, 450 pounds worth.
a 450-pound glop. All right. And is this the finished product, or?
Yep. Now it's cut in that wavy ramen shape, and it's going to go through the steamer, which actually cooks the ramen. You think that the fryer cooks it, but actually the steamer is what's cooking it.
Okay, so I didn't think of that. You have to cook it. Okay.
From the minute it starts mixing upstairs to the minute it's packaged and palletized and ready to go, it's about 32 to 34 minutes.
Okay.
Our goal is to have both lines running at the same time now, so that's what I'm hiring for, is to get both of these going at the same time.
You're going to be busy hiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never a boring day in the noodle factory.
Yeah. So this is the pillow side,
Yep.
and this is the cup.
That's the cup side.
The cup side. Okay.
99% of our team members are all from the Belfouche, Spearfish, Sturgis area. So
And that's on purpose.
no,
No?
Well, that's who I targeted, but
Okay.
yeah, trying to keep the locals local and give them a great opportunity for a great job with good pay, good benefits, and a family work environment is what our goal is.
Well, I'm going to get this on camera right now. So we hear the governor talking a lot about freedom here in South Dakota, the freedom to start a business like this. Would you agree with that South Dakota, West 605, is a great place to start up a business, making ramen?
I 100% would say yes.
Now, why is that?
Just the South Dakota work ethic and the great people that live here who are hard workers, wanting everything to succeed. It's a great place to start a business.
So now you'll see the noodles will come over and they'll get cut and folded over into that pillow shape to go into the fryer to get that final touch on it. So see how it comes down, it cuts and it folds it over? Gives it that
Okay.
pillow look. So
Yeah, okay.
we call it pillow, it's called pouches, bricks, there's a lot of different names for them. But
I mean, what do you do with all the leftover ramen?
we have farmers and ranchers that come in and we let them take it to give to their cows and their horses and sheep, and it's a full pack protein meal. So try to minimize the waste as much as we can. Our noodles that come out light at the end when they're packaged, we donate those to the local food banks, the local schools. We can't sell them because they're under the sellable weight, so we donate them to those who need.
Now you have to try the ramen now that you're here.
All right. So this is just raw, no,
Well, it's
cooked,
cooked, yeah.
cooked final product ramen.
Right before it goes into packaging. Go ahead.
Okay. It's like being a wine connoisseur or a beer connoisseur. It's oaky. It has-
It's weedy.
What are you looking for in good ramen?
The crunch, the texture, the flavor. I personally will eat it just like you're eating it. I don't
Like this.
even need to have the seasoning on it. So.
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter would probably be really good on it.
Or you're like you said, just like this.
It's a full meal.
Just a couple of years into the process, Soller says he's ready to expand his ramen business in Belfouche because the demand for his product just keeps on growing.
We feel it's the right area to be in. It's a lot of growth. It's something we can feel really good about. And it's something for that community. We can have a lot of expansion. And I just talked to the Economic Development Department, Kevin, recently, and we agreed, or I certainly agreed, there should be a lot of food manufacturing happening right in the area that we're at now. It should be in South Dakota. It really should.
A couple of observations as we took a tour of your plant here. First of all, I mean, I ate a lot of ramen. I ate my fair share back in college days, things like that, but I had no idea that this was such a niche for food product and that there is that much demand. But apparently that's the way it is these days.
People are using it with their everyday meals now. The old days, or some people, or at least my age group, it was potatoes would go with your meat and everything for your dinner. Now people are using ramen more and more as their base. And so there's a significant expansion in the category. But Kevin, I'm going to tell you, one of the main components of there being a significant opportunity for us is the barrier to entry into our market. Typically, it's 3 to 5 years to build a ramen facility, and the costs range wildly depending on how much machinery and where you're at. But at a low, it's 50 or 75 million, all the way up to 300 million. So even for the big consumer goods companies, multinationals, that's a lot of money to put out and a lot of time to wait to get a return on that money. So it's not simple to get into our business. We've certainly experienced that ourselves. It's been a lot more challenging than what we anticipated. It's just tough to get into the space. For a simple finished product, as you saw when you were walking the lines, I mean, it's a lot of machinery and a lot of different components to come up with a simple product.
The city of Box Elder is going through some growing pains right now. Everything from housing to infrastructure to new businesses coming in. It's a mixed blessing, you could say. Well, one of the companies that has decided to have a presence in Box Elder is Amazon. Yeah, that Amazon. The world's largest online retailer is working on a new delivery hub here, one that will be 40,000 square feet in size and provide at least 100 new jobs. Larry Larson is the mayor of Box Elder, and he says this deal with Amazon has been in the works now for quite some time.
It's been a lot of months, kind of you hate to say top secret, but that's kind of what it's been. We couldn't let it out until Amazon was ready to let it out. So yeah, it's been many, many months. We are looking, of course, all through Box Elder to get a lot of different businesses, restaurants and things like that. But this fits perfectly in this location. We're looking for this type of facility to be placed here. So
this is only the beginning.
Absolutely. We've got you'll have other announcements coming, believe me.
So what was Amazon looking for in a new delivery hub? And what was the deciding factor to have not just one, but 2 facilities in South Dakota?
There's a number of factors that Amazon's going to look at. They're going to look at speed to market. Timeline is really important. We want to make sure that we're committing and delivering for our customers on time. We're a customer-obsessed company, and so that really becomes kind of our core function. Customer demand is also a big component of this. That's going to tell us where our customers are ordering and where our packages are going, so we want to make sure that we're delivering for those customers on time. So those are really the two driving factors. And then certainly workforce is going to be a component of that. We want to make sure that we're hiring great folks to work for us and giving them the opportunity to kind of grow and develop within Amazon. And then infrastructure. We certainly have a transportation aspect to this facility and our entire network. And so those are kind of the sort of core functions of what we're going to look at when we look at different locations. Box Elder itself provided, I think, a great opportunity from an entitlement and development timeline. They were great partners to work with in early conversations. So when we were doing our site selection, we're having conversations with these jurisdictions and different partners in the region. And this particular area provided a great, clear pathway towards development to make sure that we're meeting the timeline that we need to deliver for our customers. So FSD1, which is our Sioux Falls facility, is an Amazon Robotics Sort Center. And that's our first mile facility. And essentially what they do is they hold all of the products, and when a customer places an order online, product is picked and packed and it goes through that facility, and then it ends up moving through our network where it ends here at a delivery station or at a third-party partner like the United States Postal Service. And from there it goes into a different delivery route, and then those delivery drivers disperse those packages to customers as their final destination.
Completion date of the new Amazon delivery hub is late 2024 or early 2025. A neighbor to that new Amazon delivery hub is Ellsworth Air Force Base. Of course, Ellsworth has been a presence in West 605 for generations, and now it's kicking things into high gear to accommodate the new B-21 Raider mission. That means more construction on the base, more personnel, and becoming more of a player in our nation's military defense plans.
And so this is actually the low observable maintenance facility. This is the formal training unit, and this is the field training detachment. Again, this is where they're going to do, think of paint and coatings for the B-21 as it comes along. Down here is the schoolhouse for all our aviators, as I spoke about. And then this one is schoolhouse for all our maintainers as they come to the base. And then obviously the B-21 and its flight test campaign. Really, really neat to see it fly for the first time. But we're focused right now on our ops and maintenance facilities, and you're going to see those are in construction. Our command and control, so we do have a command post that runs operations on the base. That has to move from a conventional to a nuclear command post as well. And then a lot of our medical facilities need to change as well as we get into nuclear requirements for personnel reliability and making sure that everyone who touches anything that's nuclear is the most qualified person that we have.
There are 11 construction projects going on right now at Ellsworth Air Force Base, and a total of 35 projects are planned. They will have a total price tag of $1.5 billion. But what about the housing situation on the base?
So, as I said, we've got about 500 homes on base. We are 100% full on our homes. I think the actual statistic is like 98.4. That just means there's a family moving out and a family moving in at the same time, right? So we're 100% full on the base. We can no longer accept any more people. I mean, obviously with changeover, we bring people on, but we don't have any additional homes on base. Our challenge then is, okay, we either build more homes on base or we look at our local community. So we actually have the Air Force Civil Engineering Center and installation and management support centers come up and visit us quite frequently, and they're looking. And to be honest with you, they looked in our local community and said the local community is doing a great job of meeting our needs. And I think they're building appropriately. As we say, we're only a portion of the local growth. You know, local community is growing on its own. So we want to make sure that people are aware of the growth that we have, but it's not just our growth. And we've always also asked those same individuals from bigger Air Force to go, should we build more homes on base? So we asked for it. We'll see if they'll let us at some point. But right now they say we're sufficient with our base housing and what's happening in the local community.
Then there's the question a lot of people have on their minds: when will we actually see the B-21 bomber flying across our sky?
I do know that they start production now, so it'll take time to produce our airplanes, but when they're produced, then we will see them here at Ellsworth. I continue to ask for them to bring a B-21 here. I don't know if they will before they actually arrive, but I've asked the test folks, if able, we would love to see one, even if it flies through the pattern one time and flies away. So we'll see if we can keep working that. We do expect a minimum of 100 aircraft is what we're asking for. To help you understand a little bit, we have about 141 bombers in all of the U.S. fleet right now. It's not enough. We had tens of thousands of bombers in World War II, and so we recognize that we need more bombers. So you'll hear us say a minimum of 100 or 100 plus, because we do think we need more airplanes than just 100. But we need to get those first 100 developed and produced, and that's what all the contracts are built around for that.
One of the companies helping to bring more businesses into the area is called Dream Design International. You could call Dream Design a one-stop shopping experience for real estate development, design, and construction.
Our economy in western South Dakota has always been known and focused on the tourism industry, which is really a crucial part of our economy over the years. You know, it is the second largest after the ag business, as we know, and we needed to diversify because we are losing a lot of our young folks or young people to outside markets, and the farms are getting consolidated, so they don't need as many workers as they used to, and the tourism industry, you know, is more efficient. A lot of it is computerized and what have you. So it's the availability of jobs that really pay good wages for the young people are not really expanding within our community. So we hope that we could bring another dimension and diversify our economy by bringing industries, bringing more retailers and what have you to the area.
One of the many projects Dream Design is working on right now is a 700-acre industrial park at the south end of Rapid City. It's called the Black Hills Industrial Center, and the goal is to bring in more than 2,000 jobs to our area.
This project in concept started about roughly, I would say, 3 years ago. The idea there is to really provide more diversification in our economy, as I mentioned earlier, and to attract technology-based industries and value-added ag industries, so that way we could process some of the raw materials that we produce, regardless if it is the corn or the wheat or the chickpeas that is grown just south of here, and the sunflower. Those are commodities that we really sell them as raw material, and we don't capture some of the taxes that can be captured by adding value to those products, creating the vegetable oils or creating some of the proteins and what have you.
Instead of it being shipped somewhere else.
Shipped somewhere else, So therefore, we're hoping to attract and work with our colleagues with the state and with the city and Elevate and what have you to attract some of those users.
According to Shafi, we've got a good thing going on here in West 605. We're very blessed. Now the challenge is not to take it all for granted.
Our state, has a lot of great resources, and the governor has really exposed those resources that we have to other potential manufacturers and partners that can relocate to our state. So our tax structure is really great, but also our existing resources that we're blessed with are really amazing, regardless if it is the raw material that I mentioned or the quality of life that we have within our state.
To put the icing on the cake for the growth in business going on here, Forbes magazine recently rated South Dakota as the 4th best state in the nation in which to start a business. Businesses here have a survival rate of 74%. And then there's our work ethic. An unemployment rate of about 2% is proof of that. And that's how we're taking care of business here in West 605.